Hey, everybody! Welcome to this week's episode of TLDR with Eden and Ella. Hello, Eden. How are you doing today, girl?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am doing well. We have got a lot to talk about with the news that has just happened in the last week.
What a week it's been for live streaming in the news.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I have a little here with me today. Hold on just a second because I can't stop the little.
Right.
Hey, bud. I will talk to you after I'm done, okay?
I thought you called me.
I did not.
Call
Well,
me if you need me.
okay. Thank you.
Look, that is a perfect example of live happens.
Live happens. This is exactly what we're talking about today. What do you do when your tech ain't techin and fails? Everything breaks down. The world falls to pieces. Because that is exactly what happened with Netflix just last week. And it's so funny that I know that not everybody knows about this because when I talked to you about it today, or yesterday rather, when we were talking about it, you didn't know about it. My husband didn't know about it, and it's his favorite show.
Oh, he actually watches the show and he didn't hear about it.
Yes,
Wow. 'Cause
he
I was
got
like,
me
I
on
thought
it.
it was just people. I don't watch really reality shows, so it just kind of whoosh, like Ella mentioned Netflix and I looked up Netflix like filtered news. I was like, okay, they're investing 2.5 billion in South Korean content. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Right? Well, the thing was, here's the thing. I also didn't know that they were live streaming it. I knew that there was a reunion show happening,
Yeah.
but when I think about Netflix, I'm not thinking about like a live stream. And to be honest, to be fair, this is only the second time that they have attempted a live stream,
Yeah.
which is something to really take note of when you yourself as a company are wanting to have a live stream. But before we go any further, let me not forget the things that we're supposed to do, even while we're here in our short time. If you're watching us live, then let us know that you're here with a hashtag live. And if you're watching us in the replay, then give us a hashtag replay. And if you are just like, man, I love to hear everything that's happening from Ella and Eden and anything that's happening from Beyond Virtual Events, then go ahead and check for the link for the reminder so that you can sign up for the reminders in the comments. If it's not there where you're watching now, don't worry, it will be there soon. Okay. But back to what we were talking about. So Eden, not I was one of the rest of the nation. You along with me was along with the rest of the nation that didn't know that the live stream was even happening until it blew up my feed.
Yeah. So for everyone else that also didn't know what was happening or what happened, basically Netflix wanted to stream the Love is Blind live reunion show, and the TLDR is that it was a huge epic fail. It
It was
just
so
did
bad.
not work out for
It
them.
was so bad. And the thing is that it's so easy. And I saw all the things that were happening in other places where apparently Netflix was not at the moment. It's so easy to throw stones.
Yeah, especially when it's a huge brand like Netflix. I think it's so easy to pile on, and the internet loves jokes, so it's easy to pile on and just like be like, oh, I can't believe Netflix couldn't get their stuff together, being this huge company. But we forget sometimes that there are people behind the brands. I work for a brand, like there are people behind the brand that are doing their best to still accomplish a goal.
Exactly.
And how did they end up delivering that goal?
Well, so these are the things that I was hoping that we could get into today, because what we want to do with every episode that we have, whatever thoughts that we're having about tech and mindset and other insights that we've been thinking about, we really want you to walk away with some tools for success for yourself. And one of the first things, one of the biggest things that I think was the issue, besides the fact that the tech broke down, the biggest thing was communication was apparently, from what I could see, non-existent.
Yeah. I think they, like, throughout Like, from what I read, they just had people waiting and waiting and waiting. And it was not until the internet was already blowing up about the fact that they have been waiting for this live stream for, at first it's 10 minutes, then it's 30 minutes, then it's 40 minutes, then it's an hour.
Yeah,
And no one has any idea from officially Netflix letting
right.
them know what is happening.
Exactly. Which is a huge deal when it comes to your events. Now look, if you've been here with me for any stretch of time in the last couple of months, you have seen me fail live.
I
with
think everyone that goes live has experienced a tech fail at some point.
And that's just the point. As I think there's also a lesson here in being an audience member and audience etiquette. Because while the world has stepped into the live streaming game, it doesn't always mean that we as the audience know exactly what to do. Now, you may have known exactly what to do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I would have known how to fix the issue for an event that was streaming 200,000 plus people. I would love to get to that point. Um,
Yeah.
I can tell you what to do with a few thousand. But that being said, as an audience member, I think it's sometimes we have to give grace, but that goes both ways, because
Yes.
from the company side, if there's something going on, if it goes on for a couple of minutes, we have a little bit of patience. But
Right.
if it goes on unannounced, like nobody says anything for an hour, for 2 hours, we have to wait until midnight now to watch this thing, I'm gone. And if
Yeah.
I stayed around, I'm super duper annoyed because nobody told me anything. And it has to be something that we as an audience member can understand, because from what I could see, they did issue some type of statement
After the fact.
after the fact that
Well after the fact.
well after the fact, well after the fact. And the thing is that Netflix is not a live streaming platform in the sense that you and I can have a conversation here in the chat and comment and talk with each other. There are other channels that they have to go to be a part of that conversation, which, if that's what you choose to do for your particular event, it's important that you have somebody on said other channels of communication.
Yes. So whether that's through Twitter or even your website, putting up a banner really quick on the website, scrolling ticker, hey, we're experiencing technical difficulties, we're still sorting it out. Some sort of messaging to let the customer know that just what is going on, because you haven't delivered on your current promise.
Exactly.
And after the fact, you've already lost a ton of people. People are done. We live in 2023. Everyone has an incredibly short attention span. Also, I know that it was live streamed through the app. I don't know
Okay.
how to quickly put in a notification in the app, but maybe that's something they could have considered, a little pop-up
Right.
little note that says, "Hey, sorry, we know this isn't working. We're working on it and we will give you guys an update in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes." Setting an expectation for what is going to happen, even if it's not how things were originally planned, will assuage your audience and they will go a lot easier on you.
Exactly, exactly. Setting expectations is absolutely key. And whether it's during the actual happening of something, it's better if you set expectations beforehand though. And while we would all love to believe that Netflix or anybody that's running a live stream should have known exactly everything that could have possibly gone wrong before the event happened, none of us are soothsayers. And
Yeah.
none of us are wizards, while I have been deemed to be one at times.
And I think there's always things, just using this as an example, internet speed. We rely on our ISPs, internet service providers, for internet. If they have a service outage, that is totally outside of my control. I could have
Correct.
done all the attesting ahead of time. I could be hardwired. I could have extra bandwidth prepared. I can have all of my tech set up correctly. But when I want to go live, if my ISP, if you know, car crashes into their building, car crashes into a power line, I don't know the infrastructure, but anything could happen that is completely out of our control. We can do all the testing that we want sometimes, but at the end of the day, there are unpredictable factors that sometimes we're just not able to account for. I think
Exactly.
sometimes in for sporting events, they like to say like an act of God.
Right.
You're not going to get a
Right.
refund in case like a hurricane comes and wipes out the arena because
Right.
it's an act of God. Sometimes there are just things that are out of our control. But what we can do is hold ourselves accountable after the fact. Let people know what happened as soon as we're able to be back online. Hey, look, my ISP had an outage. There was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't even get online to tell you guys right away. But the second that you are able to get back online and communicate, you should do that. And
Right.
admit that, just be transparent. People love transparency. Be authentic. It was out of my control. I did the best that I could. It didn't go well. Here's what I'm going to do next time to see if I can mitigate this. Maybe I will have a couple of internet hotspots ready and I can maybe not stream at 4K, but I can still go at 720. So,
Right. Exactly, exactly. And the thing is just like we've been saying over and over and over again, if you haven't picked up on what we're putting down, communication.
yes.
Communication is key. Hey there, Erica. It is so good to see you here
Yeah, thanks
live
for
with us
joining us
today. Thank you so
today.
much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Um, but yeah, like I said, the communication is so incredibly important, regardless of what happens and how you plan to turn the situation around. Giving your audience an opportunity to be a part of what's happening, letting them know that you haven't forgotten about them. And the thing is, the honest to goodness truth is Netflix didn't forget about its audience. They were sitting in the background panicking, running around. There
Yeah.
was probably a bunch of fires coming off of people's heads. It was chaos, I'm sure.
They didn't have a plan for when things went wrong, though. That is where I think they truly failed. It's not the live stream that failed. Sure, that did fail, but not having emergency protocols in place to communicate is where I think they really could have done better
Right,
in
right,
real time.
right. And the thing is that we're saying this not being inside of Netflix. None of us were there, and we don't know what tech they were teching in the techity tech times, and what plans were well laid that burned to the ground. We don't know. But what we're telling you is that when you are ready to do your next virtual event or live stream, whether it's large or small, because tech is no respecter of persons.
No one is immune to it. No one is
no,
immune to it.
no one is immune. One of the things that I think is really, really key that I forgot to mention in this last couple of seconds that we have here, one of the things that is key, notice that they had only done a live stream twice.
Yeah.
It takes time to get used to what could happen
And know what
and
to test for,
know
because
what to
they
test for.
mentioned that they had a unexpected bug. More testing is how you find these bugs ahead of
Exactly.
time.
Which is why I stress tech check, tech check, tech check, tech check.
Tech the
Please do
tech.
not,
Tech the
please do
tech.
not fight the people that ask you for a tech run and want to do it full out. Don't, unless you want to see what that looks like in your life. don't, don't do it. And again, that's not to say that Netflix didn't do a tech check. We know that they had to run some kind of test, but there are some things that can't be
Yeah.
tested. We can't test 200,000 people showing up. We just can't.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, there was, even though they might have an idea of how many viewers they have for this show, they had no idea how many people were going to show up to the live stream. And even if they did, you can't test for it. There's no way to ask however many zillion people to all sign on at once just so you can do a tech check.
Right.
So I actually had this like little idea for Netflix, just as something that I thought they might have been able to do better, is like, for the next event, and I'm just throwing this out here as an idea, they could, maybe create some FOMO and exclusivity and like limit the live stream viewers to X number that they know they have the bandwidth to handle, which would solve the issue of having too many users on at once and crashing the servers. It might not be a popular move, but it's just
I
an
know. I think
idea to mitigate capacity
it's an
issues.
idea. It's an idea. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I feel like people that people would burn the house down.
Sure, and I understand that. Like I said, it's maybe not be wouldn't be a popular decision, but despite the fact that people will be mad that they might not get to watch it live, is that not what happened this time? They didn't
Well,
come through on their
right,
promise. So if
exactly.
they wanted to test out that idea, that would set the expectation that only this many people, we can only handle this many people. And so that is setting the expectation that we're going to come through for this many people. And that's, communication, setting the expectation, and exclusivity. Everyone
Right.
loves exclusivity.
Yeah.
They can do raffles the way there is when a Jordan shoe drops, raffles. There are ways to make it fair for everybody.
It's true.
I'm just
It's
saying
true.
it's an idea that they maybe can consider, because a lot of the time what the audience wants is not for you to just admit what went wrong, but what are you doing next
To
time
fix it
to
for the
fix
next
this?
time. Exactly. And the honest to goodness truth, even though there may be rioting in the streets if they try to do that, the honest to goodness truth is if it were a space that they were going to, if you were going to a stadium, there are only so many seats in the stadium. Even if there
Exactly.
are 80,000 seats, there are only 80,000 seats and no more. And if you did not get one of those 80,000 tickets, you will not be there to see it live.
There you
so,
go. That is a
so,
great analogy. That is a great analogy.
so I look, this is TLDR. This is our super short show, and I hope that you have gotten some great insights. And with that in mind, I want to keep these things in mind for you. So the three keys that we talked about today to keep your teching. That first thing is to tech the tech. Please tech the tech. Anybody that asks you to do a tech run, whether it be me or someone else that you're doing an event with, or you yourself, please do not forego your tech checks. I don't care if it's for three people that are showing up for your event. If you forego that tech check, for sure, things will fail in a way that you cannot handle. So
Yeah.
just do the tech check. All right. Number two, set the expectations. Eden, you can talk about this one because this one is so great that you brought up.
It's about letting people know what they can expect. Even if that is in real time, hey, we're not sure what's going on, we're still figuring it out ourselves. Or like I said, for the next event, we're only going to be able to handle 500 people. That is clearly letting the people know what they can expect. And when you come through on the expectation that you have set, even if they wanted more, you have set the expectation that this is my promise and this is what I'm going to come through on.
Exactly, exactly. And lastly, communicate.
Yep.
we can we cannot say it enough. You have got to communicate with your audience what in the world is going on. And with that being said, we're going to communicate to you that this has been a fabulous time. Thank you, Eden, so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, and thank you, Erica, for joining us live.
Hey, Erica! And while you are watching this in the replay, let us know, have you ever had a tech fail?
Be
I want to
honest.
know. Be
Be
honest.
honest.
We want to know your tech fail stories. And we will see you next time. We're here on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month until the end of this season, which ends in May. Girl, May is coming.
Well, we look forward to seeing you guys every week, every other week until then.
All right. We'll see you later. We will catch you on the flip side.